Hello everybody, Helen the Russian here. So this is going to be a fairly quick video, and the subject is fairness, which is very important. I do believe that we all should be treated fairly and equally, and I mean it. I'm not just trying to give lip service. And lately there've been a lot of controversy going surrounding race, especially ethnicity, countries of origin. Certain groups claim they've been mistreated, and in many cases rightly so. Yeah, they have been, no doubt about it. However, I'd like to bring attention to the fact that oftentimes representatives of those groups treat others unfairly, and it's kind of the point I guess I'm trying to make. You can't pick and choose situations in which you act this way or that way. If you decided this, you should treat others the way you want to be treated yourself, because you can't cry wolf about being mistreated, oppressed, discriminated against, and then go outside door and discriminate against someone else yourself. It just doesn't work this way. So I'm gonna give two examples from my own life of what had happened, and I'll let you be the judge. So one had to do with rideshare. It was a Lyft ride. I dropped someone off. For those of you who are local, it was just that apartment complex called Capri. It's behind Sam's Club on Tropicana and Pecos. I'm sure most of you know what it is. So as soon as I drop this person off, I get another ride request, and it looks to me like I need to go, down this road behind the Sam's Club. Well, the passenger calls, and this is where the trouble started, because clearly he can see me on his little map, right? We all know that. And he says things like, "Oh no, you don't need to be there. You need to come around." Come around, what does that mean? Come around where? Which is what I go, come around where? See this, dear passengers, if you're listening to this, I understand sometimes directions are needed because app kind of makes it difficult to find you, but give clear directions. Use the proper points: north, west, east, south, names of the streets. Saying that a driver needs to come around doesn't really tell me anything. So I kept trying to get out of him where he is, and he kept saying, "You need to come in front of Walmart." And I thought, okay, and I knew what Walmart was, so, and he kept on, in between, he kept talking about a lot of, he goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm in this apartment, but you can't get here, but I always get this problem with Lyft," and then, see, all that is irrelevant. I needed clear direction. So anyhow, I drove around, like he said, around, what I thought was around, and he's not there. Then I got to Walmart, and I tried calling him again because I couldn't see him in there, and he goes, "Well, no, you don't need to be there. You need to come further down." And I'm like, come to find out, he was, again, for those of you who are local, he was on Tropicana and McLeod, the other side. So he was on the west side of Walmart, which is, if he said that I'm on the west side of Walmart, on the side of it, I would have been there a whole lot faster. And in the meantime, I was kind of ready to give up, because we were over 5 minutes of me driving around trying to find him. And I go, "Gosh, I'm really having a hard time. I don't think I can find him." He goes, "Well, that's kind of your job, isn't it?" And I thought, yeah, and I did actually say, I said, "Well, no, not really." He goes, "Well, yes, it is." And what I meant, I didn't want to argue with the passenger, because I had full intention of picking him up. Well, no, my job is to give you a ride. It definitely isn't looking for you in a place where you are not, and not giving clear directions. I don't have to, because I don't get paid for it. That's why it's not my job. We don't, passengers, most of them hopefully know by now, we do not get paid until you're in our car and we click on the pickup. So I wasn't getting paid for that. No, it wasn't the job. I could have just left and canceled the ride, and that would have been perfectly fine, because the rider was not where he was meant to be. Anyhow, I finally find him. He gets in the car, and straight away we get to point two, and he's a young guy. If I have to estimate, definitely was half my age or less. And he goes, well, no, don't go there. I'll tell you where to go. I said, well, I need to follow the navigation. He goes, well, okay, well, do your thing. Well, it's not my thing. That's how rideshare works. We have to follow navigation. You can't just put some... He goes, well, I put it because it's easy, but that's not really where I'm going. Again, against terms and conditions, that's not what you meant to do, but I go, okay. Turns out he was going to UNLV student hall, which I don't know why he didn't tell me that. I know exactly where it is, I know how to get there. But more to the point, this young gentleman was a gentleman of color. And he's sitting right next to me in the front seat, and and at some point he wants to make conversation, which is fine. So he goes, oh, where are you from? You have an accent. I go, oh, I'm from Russia. And here is what he said. He goes, oh, you're a long way from home. Can you imagine if I said that to him? Can you imagine the backlash, the whole Twitter social media storm that this white driver told this black guy, well, you long way from home. I bit my tongue because I felt like saying, well, so are you, but I didn't. I let it go. I took him to where he was going. It was all hunky-dory. But do you see what I mean? It's kind of hard to describe without being there, but yeah, from the very beginning, he acted like entitled brat. And then he made this comment, yeah, like, I'm old enough to let it wash over and not make any kind of deal out of it. But yeah, one good example. And I bet you he's on the front line of the activism that's saying, equal rights and whatnot, and good on him. But you need to live your truth though, mate. You really should. Right, so that was that one. And then another one had nothing to do with rideshare. I was... in my condo complex, and I stepped out, opened my garage. I was gonna go someplace, and I noticed that my neighbors, whom I've been talking to, they didn't move there that long prior to that, maybe a few months, and they had cute little doggies. So yeah, I talked to them. They were nice people, and I thought we had the conversations before that, and ultimately they were gonna move to Dallas. And I said, oh, are you finally moving to Dallas? And they explained to me that no, there were issues with landlord and whatnot, and they said, the police already been here. I go, oh, that's why, because I did see unmarked police cruiser parked on the property before when I came back, and I couldn't figure out why police is there, because it's really quiet neighborhood in here, nothing ever happens, and yeah. So anyhow, he goes, yeah, and police told him that he's not supposed to be here. There were some issues, so they were moving out, and they actually been to court already apparently, and the judge told them, look, I'm going to release you from this lease because clearly landlord was not acting within the law, but you need to collect your stuff, and then as long as you bring the keys into this court on whatever Monday, that all was taking place, I think on Saturday, I believe, Friday or Saturday, then you'll get your deposit back as well. And the police was called because apparently the landlord was creeping around in all hours of day and night, spying on them, doing whatever. And police been called, and they told him he cannot be around when they moving out or when they are present. And my neighbor goes, well, see that bright yellow car behind the dumpster, that's him. He's, despite the fact that police told him not to be there, he is there. So, and like I said, I just talked to it was kind of casual conversation. I go, oh, okay, well, that's too bad. And, that's kind of alarming to hear that someone is creeping around in the night spying and whatnot, because I live right there in the corner unit. So I get on the phone. I think I was calling my girlfriend. I can't remember. I'm deep inside my garage. I'm like in front of my car. So this guy, the landlord, who is now very obvious to me, he is Mexican, not just Spanish, definitely Mexican, comes around and he stands right at the threshold of my garage. I mean, he didn't enter, but he was standing right there, like looming in the threshold. So I'm ignoring him because I never met this guy, I don't want to talk. I'm talking on the phone with my girlfriend in Russian, so he can't even understand, but he, obviously some people don't even speak the language, but they can figure out it's, the Slavic language and whatnot. So he's just standing in there. And finally I tell my girlfriend, I didn't hang up on her, I said, look, give me a minute, I need to figure out what this guy wants. So I come up, I said, can I help you? Here's how he opens his opening gambit. I own the building, I go, wait, I'm gonna stop you right there. You don't own the building, because I'm sure you've seen the condo complexes before. This particular complex has several buildings consisting of several units. He owned the unit that my neighbors lived in, but definitely not the building, because I'm friends with my landlord. You know, obviously I know who my landlord is. My landlord owns my unit. So I'm gonna stop you right there. No, you don't own the building. You own the unit. And he just he goes, well, no, I just wanted to ask you something. I need to ask you a question, but that's okay. You're gonna be like that. And I'm just standing in there looking at him. I go, look, once again, you don't come in here. Don't stand in my threshold. Don't tell me you own the building. I know it's not true. So he goes away. He mumbles something, goes away. So I finish conversation with my girlfriend. Tell my neighbor, because my neighbor asked, he goes, look, can I use you as a witness that he was here when he was told by the police not to? I said, yeah, by all means. I gave him my phone, and now I go take some garbage out to the dumpster, which I was meant to do anyhow. And here this guy, the Mexican guy, the landlord of my neighbor, steps around. He goes, well, you're not nice. You French, aren't you? You're not nice. And I'm standing in there going, what? And again, back to the fact, well, A, I'm not French, and he's clearly not very well educated, because my accent is not French. I was not speaking French. He clearly doesn't know much about anything. But it's not the point. Even if I was, how is being French or whatever has any bearing on this situation? So I stopped. I go, look, if you wanted to ask me something, now is the time. What is it? Well, no, never mind. Yeah, I know you're not nice. I don't want to talk to you. I'm not going to say anything. I go, well, then you shouldn't came over and stand in my threshold. Anyhow, he just scared away, and I don't know how it all ended up, but police was called again. I know that because I left, and when I came back, I could see police is living, and he was gone. So clearly my neighbor told the truth. Police told him he cannot be there while my neighbors are in there, because there was already this big dispute. But here we go. That's another good example. Anywho, so just, you know, so this is just random food for thought, something, and I'm sure all of you come across it. Doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, you come across that every single day. And rideshare drivers more so, because we see so many different people, much more than your average person would. And once again, the moral of the video, live your truth. If you stand for something, you got to follow through. You got to be that person every single minute of every single day. All right? Otherwise, it's not gonna work. And in this day and age, with everybody having a cell phone and a camera and whatnot, ultimately you're gonna get caught, and you're gonna be called out as the hypocrite that you are. All right? Have a nice day, everybody.